Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm Kyle Wood, and today we're going to be learning all about pandas. But before we get into the facts, let's warm up our brains with a little challenge to see if you can tell fact from fiction. Consider this. They say that some pandas in captivity have been known to fake pregnancies just to receive VIP treatment, like air conditioning and extra fruit from their caretakers. They exhibit all the classic behavioral signs of impending motherhood, but no baby ever actually arrives. What do you think? Are pandas actually running a con on their caregivers? We'll find out at the end of the episode. Now for your word of the day. Our word for today is folivore. That's F-O-L-I-V-O-R-E. A folivore is a specialized type of herbivore whose diet consists primarily of leaves. While we often think of herbivores as animals that graze on grass, like cows or horses, folivores are specially adapted to munching on the leaf foliage of plants and trees. The giant panda is one of our planet's most famous and extreme examples of a folivore, since 99% of their diet is made up entirely of the leaves, shoots, and stems of bamboo plants. The word folivore comes from the Latin word folium, which means leaf. It's the same root that gives us the word foliage, and the Latin verb vivare, which means to devour or to swallow up. So literally, a folivore is one who devours leaves. Since leaves are usually very low in nutrients and tough to digest, folivores, like the giant panda, have to spend a massive portion of their waking hours doing exactly what the name suggests, devouring leaves nonstop to get enough energy to get them through the day. Time for your daily high five, our top 5 fun facts about pandas. Number 1. While they survive almost entirely on bamboo, pandas actually have the digestive system of a carnivore. Biologically speaking, giant pandas belong to the bear family, which means they're equipped with a gastrointestinal tract built primarily for processing meat. They completely lack the multi-chambered stomachs that you see in cows or the exceptionally long intestines that other dedicated herbivores would have. Because of this physiological mismatch, they're extremely inefficient at digesting plant matter. They only extract about 17% of the nutrients from the bamboo they consume. To make up for this really low nutritional yield, an adult panda has to eat a lot of food every single day. In fact, a typical giant panda will consume anywhere between 25 and 85 pounds of bamboo daily just to maintain their necessary energy levels. This massive dietary requirement means that they have to spend up to 14 hours a day simply sitting and eating in the forest. Scientists believe that pandas evolved to this strict bamboo diet somewhere around 2 million years ago, likely to avoid direct food competition with other meat eaters in their habitat. Number 2. Pandas have a highly specialized sort of fake thumb that helps them securely hold and manipulate their food. If you ever looked closely at a giant panda's front paw, you might notice what almost looks like a thumb resting alongside its 5 regular fingers. But it isn't an actual appendage. It's not a finger, but rather an elongated wrist bone known as the radial sesamoid. This specialized bone has slowly evolved over millions of years to functionally act like an opposable thumb, which gives the panda a bit more dexterity than the average bear. They use it to grasp slippery bamboo stalks, maneuver them into perfect position, and strip away the tough outer layers. Their pseudo-thumb allows them to handle their food with almost human like precision, maximizing the efficiency of their non-stop eating sessions. Number 3. Male pandas out in the wild have been known to do a handstand while urinating. In the dense, foggy forests of the Chinese mountains that pandas call home, visibility is often poor, making scent marking a crucial form of communication among wild pandas. To leave a clear message for other pandas, a male will back up to a tree, place its front paws on the ground, and then walk its hind legs up the tree trunk so it's doing a handstand. This allows him to direct his urine stream higher onto the bark than he could if he were standing normally on the ground. The higher the scent mark is placed on the tree, the more effectively the scent will travel through the forest's air currents. But that's not all. A high scent mark visually and chemically signals that the panda who left it is large, strong, and dominant, warning smaller rivals to stay away from his territory. Females can read these complex chemical messages to determine the size and overall fitness of the mates during their annual breeding window. Number 4. Thanks to incredible global conservation efforts, the giant panda is no longer officially classified as an endangered species. For decades, the giant panda famously served as the ultimate global poster child for wildlife conservation and endangered species awareness. Rampant habitat loss and incredibly low birth rates had pushed wild populations to the brink of extinction by the late 20th century. But the Chinese government, in partnership with international organizations, launched massive, dedicated efforts to establish protected nature reserves and restore crucial bamboo forest corridors. These protected sanctuaries finally allowed isolated panda populations to reconnect, safely mate, and slowly rebuild their numbers over several decades of hard work. In 2016, the International Union of Conservation of Nature officially upgraded the giant panda's status from endangered to vulnerable, marking a monumental victory for conservationists everywhere. Wild populations have steadily grown to an estimated 1,800 individuals, but they're not quite out of the woods yet and still heavily protected. Still, this success with the pandas proves that targeted, well-funded conservation programs can really pull vulnerable species back from the edge of extinction. It gives wildlife conservationists everywhere immense hope that similar dedication and global cooperation could save other struggling animal species around the world. And our fifth and final fun fact for today, a newborn panda is smaller than a stick of butter. Giant pandas have one of the most extreme size differences between the mother and her newborn. A full-grown female panda can weigh around 200 or 300 pounds, but her baby cubs will come into the world at just about 3 to 5 ounces. A newborn cub is entirely pink, blind, practically hairless, and completely helpless, relying entirely on its massive mother for every single biological need. This underdeveloped state of birth requires the mother to hold the fragile infant constantly against her warm chest for protection during the first few critical weeks of its life. Scientists believe this massive size disparity is directly tied to the mother's low-nutrient, high-fiber bamboo diet. Because bamboo provides so little energy, the mother's body just doesn't have what it needs to support a large growing fetus over a long internal gestation period. By giving birth to a tiny, underdeveloped cub after only a few months, the mother can efficiently shift the heavy burden of growth from internal gestation to external nursing. The mother's rich, fatty milk provides the exact concentrated nutrients a tiny cub needs to rapidly pack on weight and eventually grow healthy and strong. Now for some news you can use. While I wouldn't recommend shifting to a bamboo diet like a panda, I do think it is worth considering swapping out some of your daily household paper goods for bamboo alternatives. From toilet paper and paper towels to toothbrushes and cutting boards, bamboo products have become incredibly accessible and affordable at almost every major grocery store and online retailers. Switching to bamboo products where you can is really helpful for the environment because bamboo is a highly renewable resource growing at an incredibly fast rate. Some species can grow up to 3 feet in a single day. Unlike traditional trees used for paper, which take decades to mature and have to be completely killed to be harvested, bamboo is a grass that simply regrows from its own roots after being cut. It also requires a lot less water than crops like cotton, and it thrives without the need for harsh pesticides. By embracing the panda's favorite plant in your own home, you can easily reduce the global deforestation and support a greener, more sustainable lifestyle. Finally, the moment you've been waiting for. At the beginning of the episode, I asked, could pandas really fake out their caregivers to get VIP treatment? Well, that's a fact. Giant pandas are incredibly intelligent creatures, and several at breeding centers have figured out how to game the system. When a female panda exhibits signs of pregnancy, caretakers immediately move her to a spacious, air-conditioned room and provide her with round-the-clock care, complete with extra rations of sweet apples, buns, and premium bamboo. Noticing this luxurious upgrade, some pandas will actually mimic the physical sluggishness and loss of appetite associated with pregnancy, and will even show elevated hormones known as pseudo-pregnancy. Often the caregivers don't realize they've been duped until they perform an ultrasound. So, I guess while their ethics may be a little suspect, the panda's acting abilities are impeccable. Now, I hope you enjoyed learning a bit about pandas with me today. Be sure to tune in every weekday for even more fun facts. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.